Seattle fans, stop what you're doing, because something big is happening in the backfield. And if what we just saw against Kansas City is a sign of the future, the Seahawks may have just found their new engine on offense. For weeks, we've wondered if Kenneth Walker's injury would leave this team vulnerable. Who would step up? Who would carry the load? Well, tonight, Zach Charbonnet didn't just answer those questions. He ripped the door off its hinges. 5 carries, 45 yards, a touchdown that looked effortless. But the box score doesn't even begin to tell the story. Charbonnet ran with violence, with speed, with vision. He wasn't waiting for holes to appear. He exploded through them the second they cracked open. By the time linebackers got close, he was already 3 or 4 yards downfield, dragging defenders like they were weights tied to his jersey. It took multiple Chiefs to bring him down every single time. And let's give credit where it's due. The offensive line was bullying Kansas City's front. Abe Lucas looked back to full health, driving defenders off the line. Anthony Bradford was planting guys 3, 4 yards deep into the turf. Gray Zabel was road grading lanes wide enough to run a truck through. The line set the stage, but it was Charbonnet's burst and power that turned those openings into highlight runs. What stood out most wasn't just the stats, it was the tone. Charbonnet set the energy for Seattle's offense. On the very first drive, the Seahawks marched straight down the field, punched it in, and then the starters were pulled. Job done. Statement made. This wasn't a backup showcase. This was a message. The Seahawks have a backfield loaded with firepower, and Zach Charbonnet might be ready to take the lead role. Before the season started, everyone was talking about Damon Martinez. People said, "Watch out for this guy. He was a beast in college at Oregon State, one of the best running backs for years." But when he finally got his first NFL snaps in preseason, he flopped. 6 carries, 10 yards. That was it. Fans weren't impressed, media called him out, and honestly, it felt like his dream start had turned into a nightmare. But this week, everything changed. Martinez came out angry, determined, and ready to prove people wrong. He ran the ball 11 times for 50 yards, and these weren't soft yards. He was breaking tackles, lowering his shoulder, and finishing runs with power. He looked like the same monster we saw in college, strong, explosive, and fearless. This wasn't just one lucky long run either. Every carry had fight in it. He ran through Kansas City defenders like they were practice dummies. At 6 feet tall and over 200 pounds, Martinez looks like he was built in a weight room designed for gladiators. The guy is ripped, powerful, and impossible to bring down with arm tackles. And in this game, he proved he belongs in the NFL conversation. Suddenly, that battle for the RB3 spot behind Seattle's starters? It's getting heated. George Haney has been fantastic too, but Martinez showed he's not going away. And just when Seahawks fans were still buzzing about that performance, Sam Darnold stepped onto the field. QB1. Everyone wanted to see what he would do. And guess what? He was perfect. 4 passes, 4 completions, 1 clean drive. No mistakes, no panic, just smart football. He looked calm, in control, exactly what the Seahawks need. That's the version of Darnold Seattle hopes can steady this offense. Damon Martinez made a statement. Sam Darnold made a promise. And suddenly, Seattle has more answers than questions after this game. Do you think Martinez just earned himself a real role in this offense, or is George Haney still ahead of him? Seattle fans, let's be honest. You don't need Sam Darnold to be a hero every Sunday. If you're begging for him to single-handedly win you football games, it's going to be a long year. But here's the thing, he didn't look like a guy drowning out there. He looked calm, smart, steady. Just like in Minnesota. He hit the open man, made the safe throws, moved the chains, and trusted the guys around him. And the reason that worked? Because the offensive line finally showed up like monsters. That group straight up bodied Kansas City's front. Play after play, the line blew defenders off the ball. giving Zach Charbonnet lanes so wide he wasn't even touched until he was 3 yards downfield. That's not just running, that's domination. And Seahawks fans have been waiting years to see this kind of push. It looked like men versus boys out there, like varsity beating up on JV. And that's exactly how it needed to look. If this O-line can keep playing like that, everything changes for Darnold. You pound the rock, force linebackers to cheat up, and suddenly the play-action game is wide open. That's exactly what Kubiak wants: run first, wear defenses down, then hit them with short strikes and the occasional deep shot. That's the Seahawks blueprint. But for every winner, there's always a loser. And sadly, Seattle's special teams got embarrassed. Sky Moore took a punt return to the house, and Kansas City ripped off a huge kick return too. That's back-breaking stuff. You can't give away free points and easy field position in this league. Doesn't matter if it's starters, backups, or third stringers out there, those plays cannot happen. Period. The O-line gave fans hope. The special teams gave fans heartburn. And that's the roller coaster Seattle is riding right now. In football, the spotlight usually shines on quarterbacks, receivers, and running backs. But sometimes, the real story is told in the trenches, where strength, discipline, and heart decide who wins and who loses. And for Seattle, this game revealed both cracks and promise in those hidden battles. First, the special teams. It was rough. Missed lanes, broken tackles, and sloppy execution turned what should have been routine plays into disasters. Special teams are supposed to be about effort, about grit, about doing the little things right, and Seattle just didn't bring it. If they want to compete with the best, this has to change. Then there's the offensive line. Coming into camp, the right guard spot was a heated contest. Christian Haynes versus Anthony Bradford, both fighting for that job. But in this game, Bradford sent a message. He's not here to share, he's here to dominate. He looked leaner, quicker, and stronger than ever. No wasted movement, no sloppiness, just pure control. When Seattle needed a reach block, he delivered. When they needed space for the running back, he cleared it. That's how you earn respect in the trenches. For Christian Haynes, it's tough. He didn't play poorly, but in battles like this, good isn't enough. Bradford raised the bar, and now Haynes has to chase it. That's the cruel truth of the NFL. Sometimes, it's not about what you did wrong, but about someone else stepping up and shining brighter. And then, heartbreak for Olu Oluwatimi. It's not about talent, it's about time missed. Injuries keep stealing his chances, and when you're fighting for a starting center job against someone like Jalen Sundle, every snap matters. Sundle wasn't perfect, but he was steady. He made calls, set protections, and kept the offense on schedule. That reliability makes a difference. Olu has the talent, no doubt about it. But in the NFL, you can't make the roster from the training room. That's the painful reality he's facing right now. This game showed us that Seattle's battles in the trenches are far from over. The competition is real, and every snap could change a career. Seattle fans, here's the reality. Olu Oluwatimi has tremendous upside. When he's healthy, when that back injury finally heals, we could be talking about him as a future starter, maybe even a key piece of this offensive line for years to come. But timing is everything in the NFL, and right now, the timing just isn't in his favor. Jalen Sundle has been in the new system all camp. Every practice, every drill, every snap has built trust and consistency. When week 1 rolls around, as a coach, you don't gamble with the unknown. You go with the player who's ready, who's proven himself in the trenches, and who can protect your quarterback from the first whistle. That's why Sundle got the nod. And that's why, for now, Olu ends up on the loser side of this week's ledger, and it's not his fault. It's brutal, but injuries and timing are part of the game. The good news? This offensive line is showing real promise. Sundle's steady play gave the Seahawks confidence to move the ball, and the line as a whole looked stronger, more cohesive, and capable of running the offense Kubiak wants. The foundation is there. The battles are just beginning. So now, the big question for fans. Who do you see as the biggest loser from Week 2? And more importantly, who needs to step up heading into Week 3 against the Packers? The preseason is a grind, a proving ground, and every snap matters. This is where future starters are born and reputations are made. Seattle's next chapter is being written, and every player has a chance to rise or fall under the spotlight. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Who's your standout winner and biggest loser from Week 2? And who do you think will take the next step when the Seahawks hit the field again? Let's hear your predictions.